wait a minute, is this really happening? Is this car really missing after I've done so much for it? I've swapped the engine, I've did the timing chain, and now what's going through my mind is the valve piston dropped or something gone wrong with the timing chain? After all I've done for it, swapped every part of the suspension more than I'd like to have done, and it keeps giving me more problems. It makes me wonder, is this car possessed? Not to mention, from the last episode, we still got to sort out that steering rack. Steering rack had an issue. There was no power steering. On the dashboard there was a red sign. That usually means the power steering's dead most of the time with Audi anyway. So what I did, I put it on the diagnostic, he had no communication. So what I did, I chased the wire back from the steering rack that goes into the fuse box. I checked the wiring, checked the ground. If there was a touch, I followed the wire back, seen for any cuts or anything like that. After that, I did the same for the bottom, checked if the wires were snipped anywhere, they were all fine, checked all the fuses, and they were all fine. So I didn't want to do it, so I just got on with it. I started to take off the track rod end. I took that off, and luckily for me, my camera battery died, so I called it a day there. Overnight, I had to think about it. What else could it be? Let me check a few more things. Luckily, when I put the engine back in, the ground wire that goes in between the gearbox that runs onto the sachet, they crumpled together, the steering rack one and the gearbox one. There wasn't a ground. The ground was there, but I didn't tighten the bolt enough for it to be touching onto the ground. I tightened the ground wire, 13mm bolt, I squeezed it down all the way as much as it would go, got back in the car, turned on the engine. Luckily for me, the sign on the dashboard turned from red to yellow, and that was a good sign. So what I did, I spun the steering to the right, all the way to the right, held it there 2 seconds, spun it to the left, held it there 2 seconds, and that yellow light was gone. And luckily for me, I had power steering without needing to take down the power steering rack. However, I found a new problem. The problem was the shock, the spring at the front driver's side. The spring was all broken. I didn't see this before because I was doing so much, but this was a minor. I just got on with it and carried on doing this. After finishing the spring and shock for the front driver's side, I put on the wheels and then I got ready to take this out for a drive. Started the engine, all of a sudden the whole cabin's shaking, the whole engine's shaking, missing, and at this point you're thinking, what's gone wrong here? Has the piston, has the valve drop, has something gone wrong with the timing chain? I'm going to look for the biggest hammer I could find, not a small hammer. This deserves a big hammering. But before I did that, I thought, no, I'm not going to let it beat me. It could be something minor because the EPC light was on. So put it on the diagnostic. When I put it on the diagnostic, it had one cylinder missing. It was the cylinder 3. So I wasn't going to let it beat me. What I did was did the old trick, swap over a couple of coil pack. And refresh the OBDELEVEN, and when I found the OBDELEVEN swapped from cylinder 3 to 4, I knew what the issue was. So that was cylinder 3. So what I did, I swapped over cylinder 4 coil pack and put it into cylinder 3 and cylinder 4. So now the fault showing on cylinder 4, so we know that this coil pack's the problem, so we're going to swap this out. I ordered a new coil pack. In the meantime, I just went ahead and put on the engine under tray. That was my old one. Here's my new one. It's an aftermarket one. If I wasn't in such a rush, I'd just take that part number off the top there and just buy it off eBay. Where that cost me £5. This one cost me £20, and I'll put it in and see what happens. No more shaking anymore, no more jumping. So now it's time to finally get this out. One last little touch before we take this for a drive. The car has landed onto my driveway now, finally off my ramp. So first thing we need to do, a long time coming, is to hoover and wash this car. Time for George. It looks not too bad after a wash. Can't tell it was sat in the scrapyard for such a long time. After a quick wash, she cleans up really well, but if somebody did do a real detail on this car, it'd show. Just going to be T-cutting this out. Looks like at the salvage yard they probably marked it. That should T-cut out. Generally she's tidy now, she's presentable to have a drive. Looks really nice, but obviously I think it could do with a full valet, good detail inside outside, but for its first wash she's looking better. If not watched this car project, go back and watch it. It's been sat there, it's sat for 2 years, so it's just had its first bath. We were missing this. ring badge here, the black edition one. So I'm going to be peeling off this residue here and then putting on the new badge. Going to be using this scratch removal one to take this away. Not bad, just taking a bit away. Maybe a different rag on a second go as well. May need some teacup, we might need a little buff bar. Let's give it one more go. You see, I've given it another go and I started to take it away, so I reckon 1-2 more goes and it might just do the job. All gone. So guys, we've done everything on this car. If you've not followed us, please follow us on YouTube, please like and subscribe. And what we need to do now is go get this boiler put on and get the vehicle tracked before we take it to the paint shop, so stay tuned.